Hello everybody, this is Iman again. I am going to be presenting the Parentnoid Smart Series 1, which is going to cover the parental controls on an Apple iPhone. I am using iOS 10.2 on my phone. The parental controls to work, they have to be set on the child's phone, child's iPhone, and the first step really in setting up the parental control is to, of course, take the phone from your child and create a that is going to be done. So I'm going to go to the settings icon. I am going to scroll down on my child's phone to general. I'm going to look for something called restrictions, and within restrictions right now I have already the restrictions on my phone, so I just enter the pin and you can see on top it says disable restrictions. If the restrictions were not enabled on your child's phone, you would have seen enable restrictions, and then you would have clicked on it, created a pin number which only you would have known, not your child, and then you would do the settings. So here there are about 4 different sections under the restrictions menu. Allow, you see the first one says allow, which is basically allowing an application on your phone, right? So you could shut off Safari, camera, Siri, FaceTime, AirDrop, CarPlay. You could shut off iTunes, iBooks, podcast, all those things under allow section. You can shut all these things on or off. Depending on your assessment of your child's responsibility and accountability, you can do the application shut off completely from here, or you could manage the content from those applications, which is right under the next section, which is allowed content. So depending on how much control you want on the content, you can leave the applications under the allow on or off. I would strongly advise you to shut off the install app. Once you have got all the necessary applications installed on your child's phone, shut it off. And I can, whenever, and you can come up with a schedule once a month or a few weeks that you would just take the phone from your child, and you would update the apps by turning this install app to an on position, right? And then you would update the apps through the App Store and then turn it back off once the apps are updated. So that's just a background on that, and that's what we are still under allow. So the next section on the parental controls is allow content, and there are all these robust settings that you can go in and turn on and off there. This is really a nice one. Websites, you can actually limit the websites that your child can go to, and at the bottom you can actually add websites that you never want them to go to, right? So that's that. Then we move into, from content, we move into privacy. Very important. Make sure all these settings are set at the application level. For example, if I had to go share my locations, this is a very important setting here. This is how you would be able to track your child when he's got his phone or her's got their phone through a app called Find Friends, right? So once you do all the setup in Find Friends app, and I'll show you what that is, you can lock this down. So let me go back. So we're under privacy, share my location, do the settings for each one of these. And again, Facebook, Twitter, if you don't want social media, I don't allow my kids, at least some of the social media I don't allow them to have, so you can shut that off. So that's under privacy. Moving to the third section of setting restrictions is called allow changes, and here you can make changes you can allow your child to make account level changes, which it says mail, contacts, calendars, anything to add, modify, it can all be done through here. So if you allow it, they can make the change at their will, or you can make the changes and then shut it down so that they are unable to make any changes, right? So that's that. Cellular data use, another very important one. You have within the cellular data, if you want certain apps not to use your data when the kids are on the road, and you only want them restricted to Wi-Fi, you could do that. So what you would do is you would turn this to allow changes, and then you would go back to, keep going, cellular. Under cellular, you have all these apps, right? You can see the green ones and the ones that are shaded out or grayed out. The green ones are the ones that, in my case, I've turned them on for cellular data use. And once I make the settings, there I go back into my restrictions on my child's phone, and then I will lock that thing down. Where is that? My cellular, right here, cellular data use. I will go ahead and shut it off, and then they won't be able to make any changes to it on their cellular use. So that's that. Then there's some sections down below. You could, from the gaming standpoint, you can control that as well. So that is that very powerful. But I would say focus in on the privacy section, allow change section, and So I would try to keep shutting off the application. Try to stay away from shutting off the applications, except for, certain cases you may don't want FaceTime or camera for certain kids who you think may not be very responsible or too young. You can shut those off as well for a while. But here is all that you really need to manage your child's phone use and add responsibility, or help them be responsible, help your children be responsible in the choices they make when they're using their technology. And of course, as you understand, most of the children are on technology a lot of times, right? So a lot of their time they're on it. So let's try to help them out by helping them make the right choices by putting controls. And as they progress through their ages, you can loosen those restrictions, because then they start to become more responsible. So if you have any further questions, please, you can leave a message on this YouTube right below, and I will respond back to you. So you can leave your email if you want to, or you can just leave a note with a question and I can respond to that as well. All the best, and you have a great holiday and domestic peace. Take care.